OS2 can run at 4 mega, and I tell you it won't. I like 8. And OS2, yes, OS2 can load in as low as 13 mega hard disk, but I think you should give it 40 if you're going to install everything, which is what I showed you. It's not a direct competitor with NT. I'll tell you that I will put this on my desktops. I will put this on my end users' desktops. And NT, I don't know, maybe but not in release 1, certainly. Now, I start up, and hey, any operating system, I don't care whose it is, any operating system, it takes a while to get it all ironed out. And in NT, it's the first ever of anything of its sort. It's the first portable, preemptive multitasking operating system, and it's going to take a while to bring it out. This, by the way, has taken 5 years, and it's finally smooth. Now, here's my describe document. It says, do I want to restore? Oh, now, this is pretty neat. When I'm running describe and I'm typing away, you know how I can take a snapshot of what's in the background while you're typing, but sometimes you get a pause? Not in an OS2 application, because it launches a thread to do that. You don't even know that it takes the snapshot. It's going to go ahead and bring in that document. Describe will have saved the text. It didn't save Popeye, though. For some reason, Describe chooses not to save the bitmaps as it puts it out there. Now, I'm going to go ahead and load it in the Describe document. Go ahead and see what else is running in the background here. Let's see. I've got my MMPM extensions loaded here. Oh, somebody said show us. You're getting hungry out there. Let me go ahead and load this. This says I got 32 mega memory. That's virtual. That's not real. That includes my swap space out on the hard disk. There's my screensaver that was running. Let me get rid of that. Let me go back over here, bring up the MMPM extensions that I was going to play here. Here's my multimedia apps. Here's my movies and sound. Go one more time and load that sound in here. Here's Pump It Up. And let me grab some sound. And go ahead and start and play it again. Now, and again, I was going to put on Hammers Can't Touch This, but I like this one too. And it was out there right now. So, let's start that up again. Let's start the music. Let's get some volume. Let's close this. Let's close this. Let's take this down. Go into the DOS apps here. Bring up the DOS apps on the screen. Close down this window. Take some DOS applications. Open the DOS applications concurrently. Now, we've got how many DOS applications do we run concurrently? If this did it again, I'm going to be real happy. Good, it didn't. Good, it didn't. Thank you, thank you. Now, I'm going to start 1. I'm going to start 2. But do I have the hourglass? No. I'm going to close these. While I'm launching the DOS applications, grab these, go ahead and cascade them, put them up here at the same time, take this, minimize it over there, got my OS2 logo, there's some DOS fly files that are all running concurrently. 3 different DOS applications running concurrently on my desktop while I'm running music in the background with my digital audio. That's preemptive multitasking. That's the best DOS support of anything in the market today, and that's why I like it. Yeah! Now, I got to tell you, when you go out and record music in OS2, I recorded, and I did this in another environment, and that after I got into some music, it said, sorry, I'm out of memory. In OS2, keep your file sizes under 4 gigabyte, okay? Thank you. Seriously. And NT's saying, high-performance file system and the NT file system are such great improvements. Okay, let's do some OS2 applications. Now, I got to show you. We talked about Show me, Dave. They want more stuff. They're hungry. Now, while I open that window right there, let me close this window here. This one's got a lot of icons on the screen. There they go. There they go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and launch Lotus 1, 2, 3 for OS2. I got to show you something. See the hourglass here? The Lotus people don't have to do that. I showed you 2 other applications. They disconnect from the system message queue and let me go work. So I went to them and said, why do you do that? They want you to see who it's registered to. These are the people that 2 years ago still used copy protection? Yeah, okay. So now that was just purely coding. It was not because of OS2. Now here's a Windows application or OS2 application. This is 32-bit OS2. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up within this application a desktop. What a desktop is here is I'm not just opening up Lotus 1, 2, 3 here. I'm also opening up freelance graphics for OS2. Now wait a minute, those are 2 separate products. Yeah, but when you install them in OS2, it says, hey, Lotus is already installed on your hard disk. Since I can reuse those same dynamic link libraries in the same code, why don't I just install in the same subdirectories and take 3 megabyte less data? Now, when I install, I've got freelance down here, and Lotus is up, my worksheet is up there. My worksheet is in the foreground, so I got worksheet icons. When I click down here, now I've got freelance icons. Those are smart icons. It's editing in place. And by the way, that's part of what will be in OLA 2.0. This is a shipping 32-bit application right now. It's called editing in place, okay? Now, and I like Olay too. Don't think we won't grasp onto that standard sooner or later. You didn't hear it from me, okay? But we got some other things. Now, here's my worksheet in the foreground. I'm going to click on the graph icon. Lotus takes the data off this worksheet. It brings up a graph that it thinks best represents my data. When the graph is in the foreground, then, I go ahead and click on the Edit and Copy. Now, watch how quickly. Bam! OS2's clipboard, 512 megabyte, which means however big your hard disk is. Now, understand, this is virtual. You have to have hard disk space for it. I had some people go, but I thought it was virtual. No, 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 no. It has to exist somewhere, so it exists out in your hard disk, okay? Now, that is sitting out there on in my clipboard. I'm going to bring back up Describe here. I'm going to take Describe, put it side by side with the Lotus 123, and now this is pretty neat stuff. It's sitting out there in the clipboard. I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to take this and put about right here. I'm going to do an edit. Instead of a paste, I'm going to do a link, paste, link. So I take the data from my clipboard, put it in there, but I also create a dynamic data exchange link back. You know what I like about this product? Unlimited undo. Edit, undo. And when I mean unlimited, I mean thousands, folks. And I'm not kidding. You can really do that. Let me go back here, select OK. I wanted to put it there. So let me do it one more time. Do an edit, link, paste, link, put it back onto my desktop and put it in the right place. Now, when I go back over here, when I click on the graph, now I have graph icons. When I click over here on the pie chart, make it a pie chart. Bam! You're going to be, yeah. Now, this is better, though. This is better. Let's take this, and in the short amount of time I have, because I'm probably over, do you want me to show you more? Yes! Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build a 32-bit preemptive multitasking, multi-threaded application with object-oriented code, and I don't program. This is pretty neat. Now, wait a minute. Who invented this iconic user interface? Microsoft? No. Apple? No. Xerox Palo Alto Research Center. Now, where did some of those smart people go? They started a company called Digitalk. They invented Smalltalk, the first object-oriented programming language for the PC. Their second product, big product, is this, Parts. Now, I got to tell you, a lot of people look at the OS2 Workplace shell, and they say, you know, this looks a lot like a Macintosh, David. Is this part of the IBM-Apple relationship? I don't know. But what I can tell you, as part of the IBM-Apple relationship, right now, I'm not wearing socks, okay? Now, actually, let me get on. Now, what I'm going to do here, I'm going to build an application. I'm going to put this window element up in place because it's a visual application. You need to have a window element. Let me scale it a little bit bigger. I'm going to go along here. Now, this is pure 32-bit OS2. Notice those folders and things? That's all Workplace shell stuff. I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to scroll through the folders. Actually, let me go back a page, right there. I'm going to grab this thing here called a dial pane. I grab it and drag it and drop it, put it out on my folder here. Let's put it up about right there. Then I'm going to grab this thing called a horizontal slider, and I'm going to put it about right over here. Now, wait a minute. You're saying, David, this is an interface builder. We've seen a lot like it. But we have to go and write the business code behind it. No, you don't. That's why this is neat. Look at this. Show us, Dave. Thank you. Let me go ahead and put a line between... I'm going to put a line between there and there, and I'm going to say when this value, let me put it up so you can see it. When this value is changed, set the value there. When I go here, I'm going to say when this value is changed, set the value there. If I want to test the application, I click on Launch. I bring the application up. Let's move the dial. Bam. That's it. Okay? Now, but let's go further. These little lines here mean that everything's cool. If something was wrong, the line would be red, so I'd know immediately something was wrong. Well, how do I work with it? Click with the right mouse button. It's an object. It has a pop-up menu. All objects have a pop-up menu. Now, as it is, that thing is just fine, so I'm going to click on the no lines there, make those go away. Then I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to scroll back a page. If you scroll down, this says it's an integer entry field, accepts digits. So I grab this, drag it, and drop it over there. Now, I'm going to put a line between here and here that says when this value is entered, I guessed that meant the enter key, set the value there. Select OK, go ahead and launch it. From there, I can put it up here, put in a value of 65, hit enter, update this, update that. Okay? Now, but let's go further with this. This is neat. How do I link it to an application? You click on the interface icon. If I wanted to launch the application, I put it there. And I say, when this is launched, start Lotus 1, 2, 3 and describe. Don't have to because they're already running, so I can get rid of that. But as it is, this one here says DDE client. I put it on my workbench. The user never sees it. It's a non-visual part. So I put it over there. Now, this is the part I had to open the book for. I had to say, let me put this back. I had to find out that when you do this, you say, when the application is opened, initiate dynamic data exchange. And when the application is closed, terminate dynamic data exchange. Now, what am I going to DDE with? Well, if you double-click on an object in OS2, it opens up its settings. I'm going to DDE with Lotus, and the name of the spreadsheet was graphic numbers. I am not a touch typist. Well, I do touch it, but that's about all. .wg2. Yes, spaces are valid in those long file names, but I still use .wg2 because, well, it's a bad habit. Now, I'm going to put it into cell B4 in the spreadsheet. Now, I could say put things in one cell and take things out of another cell. That's done. All I have to do is say, when this value is changed here, I want to put it in cell B4. Select OK. Go ahead and launch the application from right there. Go ahead and minimize this. Bring up Lotus 1, 2, 3 over here. Bring up Describe Word Processor over there. Bring this to the foreground. When I bring this up, notice, by the way, the spreadsheet cell that I'm going to is the one that's in yellow. It's over here. It is cell, bring the spreadsheet to the foreground. Where's cell B4? This is going to take a second to bring up there. There's cell B4. Okay? So let's take this. Let's add a value here of 64, 63. Hit enter. Update this. Update that. Update that. Update that. Bam, and I linked. Update that graph. Now, thank you. Now, yeah. Now watch this. Watch this. Watch the cell in the spreadsheet. You want to see fast inter-process communications? Let's change this. OS2 2.1 is fast. That's pure and simple. Now, here is the really neat part. This is my favorite part. Now, wait a minute. Now, you haven't created an application. You built that little thing there. What do I do to make this into an application? You select File, Save as EXE. It's done. It's finished. It's an executable program. Even better. It's object-oriented, which means I want to be able to reuse it or let a peer reuse it. So I drag it over and drop it in the catalog. It's now a reusable part. That's neat. And if you ask me, what is Taligent? Taligent is what you just saw there with the operating system components. With Taligent, this is what you're going to do with the operating system printer and communication stuff. You're going to build your own applications. But then you're going to say, I want this virtual reality node that's available from this company. It's a framework, and you'll buy it, and you'll plug it into your toolkit over there, and you'll build from that. And that's why it's going to take a couple years to get it out there in full force and running. Tools will be coming this year. You need the tools first. But is that going to replace OS2 everywhere? Is that going to... No. There's still going to be workstations running OS2 to get their work done. New applications will want the Taligent. But in the meanwhile, I can run my DOS, Windows, and OS2 applications very reasonably. And that's all I really want to do. And I'm out of time. Thank you all very much.
Okay, we have 3 microphones here, the front, the middle, and the back. But before you ask your questions to our guests, I'm going to ask you some questions. Listen up here. How many of you have 8386 or any other 32-bit computers at home or at work? Obviously, it is not really a 32-bit system if it is running just DOS or Windows. So I'm going to ask how many of you are now running a full-bore 32-bit operating system, either OS2 or Windows NT or Nova or something exotic. How many of you are running 32 bits already? Okay. Now, I'm going to ask you 2 questions about your feeling about 32-bit operating systems right now. I'm going to ask you how many of you plan to get NT right away, just as soon as possible. How many of you plan to get OS2 right away or just absolutely as soon as possible?
Thank you.
Now I'm going to ask you the maybe questions. How many are going to wait for NT or some other Windows operating system in the later versions that were discussed? How many are going to wait for OS2 or Next Step or Solaris or Taligent or any other thing and stick with DOS and Windows NT for the time being? Okay, last question. How many of you are going to die as a DOS version and you're never going to touch this stuff?
Yeah!
That's DOS virgin, not DOS version. Okay. Thank you for answering our questions, and now we'd like to entertain your questions for either one or both of our guests. You get one question, not a series of questions, and so I'll take the first question from the middle microphone. Sir.
You got it. By the way, I must compliment you on your name, Dave. It's an excellent name. That happens to be mine, too.
And I like your speaking voice.
Thank you. Anyhow, I run DeskView. I run 3 nodes of a BBS on DeskView. I run Windows applications on DeskView. And I have maxed out all my drivers and everything. I'm back to about 530K at the bottom 640. Tell me, Dave, what can I do?
I'll tell you, first of all, there's a lot of good OS2 BBSs out there. I know you got what you want right now, but there's some good OS2 bulletin board software out there that runs real well. There are drivers out there. You know how DeskView has some small drivers to allow DeskView to know when to switch and how those things work under OS2. There has been code written so that those indicators that let DeskView know, hey, I need those things can work under OS2. Darn near every DOS app you can put at OS2 you can run. Even on the high-performance file system, all my DOS and Windows programs were out there. Stay 8.3 for your DOS programs, but there isn't much of what you can't run there. You got any more specifics? Because
what about higher transfers than 96? Oh, one question. Okay, I'm sorry.
That was a clarification. High transfer rates. Your DOS applications in OS2 2.0, you could run a DOS application at 9600 baud. When you started the second one, you got some timeouts. That has been corrected in OS2 2.1. We've allowed more interrupts per second, so I can run multiple 9600 baud background sessions underneath OS2 2.1. Okay? Next question.
Front microphone.
Does version 2.0 support SCSI drives?
Version 2.0 of OS2 supports SCSI, yeah, but there weren't as many drivers out there. These drivers, if you wanted to get those out, you mean version 2.1 now?
No, 2.0.
The older version. The older version does support them, and all of these drivers will work there. You just have to get them out of here and put them in there. These drivers, OS2, unlike NT, OS2 supports 16-bit and 32-bit drivers. So we'll support any 16. We even support your DOS device drivers in your DOS virtual DOS machines. So yes, we support the SCSI drives. I've been using my SCSI drive. That's what I have on here. The drivers aren't with it, though. Okay?
Now, you support 32-bit device drivers?
And 16-bit.
Now, do you run 32-bit Windows applications?
The question, I think, is probably going to be on the Win32S running in a VDX machine.
Right.
PC Week, by the way, lists all 3 applications that exist on Earth that need that in this issue. No, we don't yet. We can, and we're evaluating it, but those 3 applications, Carbon Copy, MathCAD, and one other, we cannot run, and those are the only 3.
The rear microphone.
Do you support the Stacker program or the extra drives?
Yeah, Stacker for OS2 is available and shipping for the FAT file system. It's golden code, and it's advertised right now in PC Week, etc. Stacker for the high-performance file system is not shipping yet. Don't use your DOS stacker on OS2's OS2 or NT, right? Is that correct? Don't use your DOS stacker. You hurt yourself. It does not. So you need a stacker, and NT's got your compression in it already, correct? NT has some disk compression. Stacker for OS2, FAT is shipping. High-performance file system soon to be shipping. There's another product called DCF, Disk Compression Facility, that's been shipping for about 8 months, and that's for OS2 as well.
The middle microphone.
Thank you. Dave, I've been a happy OS2 user for quite some time, and if I move up to 2.1, am I going to be able to preserve all the customization that I've done in my workplace shell?
Yeah, if you install OS2, you can install it on top of DOS and Windows, and by the way, keep it if you want to for the safe time, right? And then later on, when you know everything runs, get rid of it. You can, it will take your Windows as it is and migrate your Windows desktop so it looks the same. It'll take your OS2 workplace shell and migrate it. Don't install OS2 on top of beta code, though. I mean, you'll have a problem down the road, and you'll wonder, was that why? But so on top of OS2 2.0, 2.0 with the service pack, OS2 1.3, DOS or Windows, yes. Beta code, don't do it. Okay?
This is for the NT folks. Basically, I didn't notice, or noticed that you didn't run any DOS applications under NT. What I've been seeing in the media is performance degradation of between 25 and 1,200% of DOS applications, DOS and Windows applications under under NT. And I wanted to find out if you're doing anything to improve that, or if that's the way it's going to be when the final product comes out.
Yeah, that's a good question. A lot of the initial offerings and testing that have been done on NT. This microphone up. A lot of the evaluations that have gone on in NT were based on the April and March builds of NT. We've been code complete now since the end of the year, and all we've concentrated on since the end of the year is performance testing and performance tuning and DOS applications. The April build is about twice as fast as the March build. The goal is to run applications as fast, DOS applications as fast as OS2. I mean, it should. We wrote the OS2 stuff. I mean, initially all that stuff came from Microsoft. So yes, we will run DOS applications just as fast. The goal is you will not notice any performance degradation whatsoever in your DOS apps. We'll support communication modes a lot higher than 9600 for DOS apps also.
The rear microphone.
This is, I guess, a question for both of you. I'm about to write some software to access a mainframe, but for security reasons, I want to take the data, drop it down into a file on the disk. The program I'm writing is Windows-based. It's Visual Basic. So what I want to be able to do is, with a separate routine, do I believe it's called a synchronous file transfer to the mainframe, which is tricky in Windows. I want to be able to do that, though, taking the information to a file and then access it with my Windows program.
Right.
Can that be done? Is it tricky to do in either NT or OS2?
You can do it in NT or in OS2. What I would recommend, though, is there are Visual Basic libraries or custom controls that have the 3270 file transfer APIs already in there that will run those as Windows programs in the background.
I'm not going to be able to use 3270, though, in this case.
Okay. Let me add also, in OS2, each of those DOS boxes, although they're shielded, they're not totally. You can use named pipes out of a DOS box, call an OS2 program, call it, initiate it, and use it to do your file transfer, and then named pipes is supported in OS2 2.1 from DOS to OS2 or from DOS to Windows programs.
Will I be able to
That's it. Thank you.
Will I be able to read that file, though?
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yes.
see me afterwards. I'll hang around and talk to you.
Yeah. Middle microphone.
Yeah, Dave. Can I take you at your word when you said I can get it right now? I understand PC People has several boxes of OS2, but you have said you will not release it until the 14th of this month. Can I buy it now?
You know, for some reason, IBM marketing is still really trailing. Microsoft's kicking our butt as far as marketing, folks. There's no doubt about it. Somebody in IBM said they can have it on the shelves, but they can't sell it. Anybody in marketing think that's stupid? Okay? Yep. Yes, PC People is not supposed to sell it until the 14th. I don't know why. Our 800 number says they're shipping immediately, but I got a feeling that if you did that, you'd get it about the same time. They got the code, it's here, and that's a marketing issue, and that's one of the things I am working on in IBM. We got all new people. It's going to get better. Okay? Yeah, it's the 14th.
Front mic.
Yes. Does the CD version of OS2 come with Describe 4.0?
Now, the CD version of OS2 comes with the multimedia extensions, but not Describe. Describe 4.0, you can get an eval copy of it, full function, except there's like two things it can't do, so you can evaluate the whole thing, 32-bit on CompuServe. Go OS2 user, and it's out there. And it's one diskette. Multi-threaded everything.
Thank you.
The middle microphone.
It's a question for Doug. We're a solution provider. We've been developing under NT for almost a year, and we absolutely love it. I have a question for Microsoft, though. Why hasn't Microsoft gone ahead and ported Excel, WinWord, and other popular applications straight away to a 32-bit environment, not waiting to multi-thread and so forth, so we could use it to build solutions immediately like all our other third-party software vendors.
Yeah, that's a great question. The question was, why haven't we released 32-bit versions, or when are we going to release 32-bit versions of these applications? We're committed to delivering all of our application suite on top of NT. What you will see, though, is as the next product is released, there'll be a 32-bit version included in that. I think, I don't know if I'm giving away too many secrets here, I think we'll see a version of Word for Windows sometime early fall or late summer. We might see a version of Excel sometime around that. And the reason that's happening is we're going to core code in all of our applications, so that when we develop an application, we can deliver it simultaneously on the Macintosh, Windows 16, and Windows 32-bit.
The rear microphone.
This question is directed to both parties. Currently, I can listen to mod files, which is a sound, and I also use the modem, but I can't do it concurrently with Windows. I would like to know if I can both listen to music and do modem transfers at the same